Welcome back to the channel, Digital Analytics, where we help you analyze your marketing and e-commerce data so you can make better business decisions. Today we continue on with our Google Analytics series, and we're going to talk about Google Tag Manager. You may have heard about this. A lot of people with their Google Analytics start to see emails and information about Google Tag Manager. We're going to talk about why you may want to move to Google Tag Manager, what are some of the benefits, what are some of the things that you can do with Google Tag Manager. If I had to list 3 reasons why you should consider using Google Tag Manager, the 3 that I would use most often would be that if you have limited IT resources, maybe you work for a smaller company and you have kind of a one-man IT department and you have a marketing department, a lot of times whenever you need to put new codes on your website, you've either got to put in a ticket if you're a marketing team, you've either got to, if you've outsourced your IT, you've got to pay for every basically phone call or engagement ticket request that you put into an outsourced IT team. And so Google Tag Manager can help you save money and get things done quicker by using Google Tag Manager to get those tags on the website. It's also for a more efficient website. It allows faster speed downloads. It allows you to not have as many tags all over the pages of your site. And you got to remember, on different tags, if they need to be placed on every page of your website, by putting them in a container, which is how Google Tag Manager works, rather than putting a tag on 50 different pages of your website, you put it into a container, and then you put the container into the home page of your website, and that way it's good on any page of your website. So that's kind of a quick synopsis how Google Tag Manager works. It also allows for more in-depth tracking. So there's things that you get for free when you sign up for a Google Analytics account, and then there's some additional buttons that you can click, like age demographics and things like that for Google Analytics. But by going to Google Tag Manager, you can even get more in-depth tracking, and we'll talk about that. Implementing Google Tag Manager, it's pretty simple. Overall, you just Google Tag Manager and you open up an account. You do have to have a Google email address to get Google Tag Manager. And then you basically connect your AdWords and your Google Analytics to Google Tag Manager, and then you just start the process. It's very flexible. You can constantly be adding more tags and triggers, and if there's a new tag that you want to try. And again, by having all of these in containers, and rather than each individual web page, it allows for support faster page downloads. So those are definitely advantages to going to Google Tag Manager if you're just starting the process. Now, Google Tag Manager, better known as GTM, when you're looking at a lot of the resources and help documents inside Google for Google Tag Manager, it is free. You just need to have a Google mail address. It helps you analyze your websites, and it can help you analyze apps. So if you've got an app, there definitely is some advantages to Google Tag Manager. Plus, it does allow, if you have multiple domains, you can do roll up multiple domain tracking with Google Tag Manager. Some of the capabilities, and I mentioned some of the additional things you can do with Google Tag Manager. I use it on a lot of websites to track PDF downloads. This is probably the #1 thing that I've installed with Google Tag Manager, to track total number of downloads, downloads by day. You can actually categorize and label the downloads. So if you have 4 different downloads on your website, and if you want to know which is getting downloaded more and more often, you can label them, so that way right in Google Analytics you can see which PDF is getting downloaded and do content to draw more PDF downloads. You can also track scrolling behavior, see how far down the page they're going. Link clicks, so you can track things like phone calls, and specifically mobile phone calls. So you can track desktop phone calls, mobile phone calls. If you have maybe using like CallRail or a call tracking system and have different phone numbers, you can track them by each individual phone number from your from mobile, and to see how many phone calls you are getting from your analytics. Form submission, so if you've got a join here or applications, things like that, form submissions can be tracked. And also video activity, and that includes everything from the number of times a video is played. If you want to track to 50% completion, let's say if you have got a 4-minute video but you only want to count it when it's watched for 2 minutes or longer, you can track pauses or starts and engagement activities with your videos. And again, overall with Google Tag Manager, what you're trying to do is improve the user experience, like detailed events, user actions, and actions before purchase. So I highly recommend Google Tag Manager. Again, if you're just starting out in Google Analytics, I would probably not want to get too actively involved with Google Tag Manager. There is a little bit of a learning curve with the triggers, but with things like Upwork and Fiverr and things like that, a small budget can go a long ways to getting Google Tag Manager installed. You just give them permission. You can also do some testing of new form submissions, and let's say if you just want to test a couple of pages, maybe a way a call to action button works or a phone number, you can put it on a limited number of pages and track with Google Tag Manager. Hopefully that helps you with your decision to learn more about Google Tag Manager or to continue on. Remember, if there is a lesson you'd like to learn, leave a comment below what you'd like to learn next in Google Analytics. Hit subscribe and ring that bell for notifications as we continue along to analyze your marketing and e-commerce data so you can make better business decisions.